What's up guys, and welcome back to another video, and today we have a brand new series. This series is called The Evolution of ... and those dots represent any wrestler you guys want to see next. We're going to start it off with The Undertaker first, so let's get right into it. The first gimmick he ever had was the Western Mortician, and that went from November 1990 all the way through January 1994, and he had an original Western look. He would wear a black overcoat, gray leather gloves, and a Stetson hat. Undertaker would make his debut with this gimmick at Survivor Series in 1990. Originally, his manager was Brother Love. During a segment on the Brother Love show, he paired with Paul Bearer. The Undertaker would go on to win his first WrestleMania match against Jimmy Snuka, which would begin the streak. There were two highlights from this gimmick. The first highlight was when he was a heel and feuding with Hulk Hogan. Undertaker would win the WWF Championship in 1991. The second highlight is his face turn when he saved Miss Elizabeth from Jake Roberts in 1992. Undertaker would introduce a brand new match, which was the casket match. Ultimately, the casket match would end his gimmick because he kayfabe died and ascended to the heavens while being inside the casket at Royal Rumble in 1994. The next gimmick was the Dead Man, and that lasted from August 1994 all the way through October 1996. The Undertaker made his return at SummerSlam in 1994 with an updated attire. Instead of using gray, his leather gloves, tie, and boot covers were now purple. He would return to have a match with the fake Undertaker. Eventually, he would get his revenge on Yokozuna, who killed his old gimmick. Around this time, he was forced to wear a gray mask because King Mabel and Yokozuna actually injured him by breaking an orbital bone. In August of 1996, he had a boiler room brawl with Mankind at SummerSlam. This was when Paul Bearer turned on him to align with Mankind. Just a couple of months later, they would have a Buried Alive match at In Your House. Undertaker did go on to win this match, but the Executioner, along with other heels, attacked him after the match. All of them buried him alive, which would put an end to this gimmick. After that, we saw the Lord of Darkness, and that was from November 1996 through December 1998. The Undertaker was reborn and made his return a month later. His entrance was awesome because he came down from the rafters in a black leather attire with bat wings. Although he only wore those bat wings once, he did continue to dress in all black. The Undertaker also had a black teardrop below his right eye. The Lord of Darkness gimmick was during a time where he had supernatural powers such as starting a fire and creating lightning by pointing his finger. What a savage. This would be the same character that The Undertaker used to fight in his first Hell in a Cell and Inferno match. Undertaker did bring out the old Western Mortician attire one last time when he was in a match with Psycho Sid in the main event of WrestleMania 13. They would write off this gimmick by having Kane put The Undertaker in a casket and lighting him on fire. Next up, we have the Ministry of Darkness, and that lasted for the whole year of 1999. In late 1998, while feuding with Stone Cold Steve Austin and Kane, The Undertaker would mention a Ministry of Evil as well as the Dark Days that would soon take over. This was a hint at the future of The Undertaker being the most demonic he's ever been. Later, he would form his faction known as the Ministry of Darkness. During this time, he would start to use his TX symbol by wearing it on his tights and even crucifying people. After being buried alive at the Rock Bottom pay-per-view in 1998, he would return right before the 1999 Royal Rumble in a black hooded robe with a goatee. The Ministry would continue to run dominance in the WWF as top heels. At one point, he kidnapped Stephanie McMahon and attempted to marry her at a dark wedding. The Undertaker said he was just answering to the higher power, which was later revealed to be the boss Vince McMahon. Shortly after losing the WWF title, The Undertaker would pair Big Show and won the tag team titles at SummerSlam in 1999. However, he tore his groin, which required him to take some time off. To write him off TV, he would refuse to participate in a casket match against Triple H and just kayfabe walked out. Next up, we have the American Badass, and that was from May of 2000 all the way through December of 2001. Undertaker would take off 8 months to heal those injuries. Undertaker made his return at Judgment Day in May 2000. This Undertaker was something we've never seen. This was the American Badass, where he was a biker with a bandana, sunglasses, a jean shirt, and a motorcycle. While he was still one of the most dominant members of the roster, he was viewed as a human. His wife Sarah was brought in, and he spoke as a normal human being rather than his demonic promos. Undertaker would also change his finisher from the Tombstone Piledriver to the Last Ride. After that, we have Big Evil, and that was from January of 2002 through November of 2003. Big Evil was one hell of a shocking heel turn. Undertaker attacked Jim Ross on Raw. The Undertaker now had a new dyed jet black haircut and showed us his bullying attitude. He defeated RVD to win the Hardcore Championship. He would become the WWE Undisputed Champion, where he would end up saying that he will do whatever he wants. During his championship run, he would assault superstars who he thought didn't respect him. One example would be rookie Randy Orton while he was still a face. Eventually, Undertaker turned face by showing Jeff Hardy respect. Big Evil would become more of an extension of the American Badass. Undertaker would feud with guys such as Vince McMahon, Big Show, and Brock Lesnar. In 2003, Kane would bury Undertaker alive, which would leave him out of action for a few months. Next up, we have The Phenom from March of 2004 all the way through October of 2010. While Undertaker did experiment with a more human persona, he did return to his old roots. Undertaker made his return at WrestleMania 20 to face off against Kane. This gimmick was a combo of all of his previous gimmicks. He wore his Big Evil attire with a long leather trench coat and a hat. Paul Bearer would align himself with The Undertaker again, but Undertaker later found him as a weakness, so he proceeded to bury him alive. The Undertaker seemed invincible during this time because of his booking. He got destroyed at many occasions, but he would keep coming back. The first time was when him and Randy Orton were feuding with one another. While fighting in a casket match, Randy and his dad burned him inside a casket. Undertaker would be back several months later from a burning casket. Two other great feuds during this time were against Batista and Edge. Undertaker defeated both men at WrestleMania 23 and 24, keeping the streak alive, as well as winning the world title. Vicky Guerrero would later strip Taker out of his title, which continued his feud with Edge. They had a TLC match at One Night Stand. Undertaker would go on to lose, therefore he was banned from the WWE. Undertaker then returned to face Edge in a Hell in a Cell TLC match at SummerSlam, in which he won. Taker would continue to feud with La Familia for the rest of the year. Undertaker had two classic matches at WrestleMania with Shawn Michaels, one of which was Shawn's retirement. Finally, in 2010, Kane and Undertaker began feuding with one another. With the help of the Nexus, Kane was able to bury alive The Undertaker, which would put him out of action for 5 months. And we have Undertaker's last gimmick change, and that was The Last Outlaw, and that was from April of 2011 to the present time. Undertaker would make his return in April of 2011. Triple H interrupted him, and they both looked at a WrestleMania sign in the arena. Both men did not say one word, but the stare down was one of the most intense moments in wrestling history. Taker would go on to feud with Triple H for WrestleMania 27 and would win that match. The two would have a rematch for the next year in a Hell in a Cell, and that was labeled as the end of an era. They were the last two of their generation still going at it. Taker would win yet again. Even though they labeled that match as the end of an era, Taker continued to wrestle. He would put on a classic match with CM Punk at WrestleMania 29. At this point, Undertaker's streak was 21-0. 1 year later, and Brock Lesnar was the man to beat the streak at 21-1. Undertaker would still not retire. He came back for 4 matches in the year of 2015. Finally, in 2016, he had a Hell in a Cell match with Shane McMahon, and Undertaker was victorious. He also returned at the 900th episode of SmackDown. Undertaker said he didn't want WrestleMania to define his legacy, which means he can be returning after Royal Rumble. Who knows? And that's it, guys. That is the evolution of The Undertaker, a long career that is still going. I hope you guys enjoyed the new series. If you did, please leave a like and share this. Comment down who I should do next, because I feel like the series could be something big on this channel, but you guys gotta let me know if you want to see more. As always, thanks for watching the video, guys. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please subscribe for more. Also, make sure to follow me on Twitter at Valenplana. Check out my other channel, Official Life Facts, and I'll see you all later.